Right now, every brand that I'm talking to is asking me the exact same question. Ivan, how quickly can we move our production out of China? They're reading news. They're worried about tariffs, geopolitical tensions, and rising labor costs. So you look at countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, or Laos, and they see labor rates that are maybe 30 to 50% cheaper. They do the math on a napkin and think, hey, if I move my assembly line to Laos, my profit margins are going to double. But I just got back from auditing footwear factories in Laos, and I'm here to tell you the truth. The math on the napkin is lying to you. The strategy of diversifying your supply chain is called China Plus One, and it's a brilliant strategy for massive corporations like Nike or Apple. But for a growing brand, if you don't engineer the move perfectly, leaving China might actually be the most expensive mistake you ever make. Today, I'm going to break down the 3 hidden costs of moving your production to Southeast Asia and how to know if your brand is actually ready to make that jump. The biggest misconception about moving out of China is thinking you're actually leaving the Chinese supply chain. You aren't. Let's say you move your shoe assembly to a great factory in Cambodia. The stitching labor is significantly cheaper, but where's the factory getting the materials? China has spent the last 40 years building the most ruthlessly efficient raw material ecosystem on the planet. The tannery, the EVA foam supplier, the custom lace manufacturer, and the metal eyelet forge are all located within a 50-mile radius in places like Dongguan or Xinjiang. Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam do not currently have the same deep localized raw material ecosystem yet. So your new factory in Cambodia is likely buying your 12-ounce canvas and your custom outsoles from China. You haven't escaped the supply chain, you've just stretched it. Because you've stretched that supply chain, you're now paying what I call the hidden freight task. If your raw materials are coming from Dongguan, they now have to be loaded onto a truck, driven across international borders, go through customs, and arrive at your assembly factory in Southeast Asia before a single shoe is made. That cross-border logistics fee gets baked directly into your new FOB price. Suddenly, that 40% savings on labor is completely wiped out by the cost of trucking heavy rubber and textile across 2 countries. If your shoe is highly complex and requires 20 different components sourced from 10 different Chinese sub-suppliers, assembling it in a cheaper country will actually cost you more money overall. Now, the third hidden cost is time. In China, if the factory runs out of a specific red stitching thread, the manager makes a phone call and a guy on a scooter might deliver it in 45 minutes. Your production line doesn't miss a beat. In emerging manufacturing hubs, if they run out of specialized components or if a cutting machine breaks down, like the rusty machines I showed you in my last factory audit video, they might have to order the part from overseas. Your production line doesn't pause for 45 minutes, it pauses for 2 weeks. If you're a lean startup relying on fast inventory turns to manage your cash flow, a 2-week deploy can completely wreck your Q4 sales projections. So, should you move your production out of China? The answer is it depends entirely on your data. When a client asks us to move their production to Vietnam or Laos, we don't just blindly say yes. We act as your supply chain architects. You should take your bill of materials and run the math. If your shoe is a simple high volume canvas sneaker, moving to Laos might be a massive win. But if your shoe is a highly technical hiking boot with 30 custom components, our data will show that staying in southern China is actually the most cost efficient and stable option. Moving to a new country isn't just about finding a cheaper sewing machine. It's about auditing the entire macro ecosystem. If you're trying to navigate tariffs, lower your unit costs, and figure out the China Plus One strategy, reach out to us at the link in the description and let's look at your tech pack. Hit subscribe for more insider supply chain strategies, and I'll see you in the next one.